Welcome back to the second match of the finals in the North American Challenger Cup Series game. We have Risky Behavior versus Neilm again, and if you were here for us just a moment ago, you saw Risky Behavior take the game quite decisively, having a late game team composition and never actually being in any trouble from Neilm. But if you are just getting here, well, the story of the game is Risky Behavior 1, Neilm 0. Neilm wanting to change up what they did last game to fix it and take a win this game. Now it looks like Risky Behavior is going to be thinking about their next ban of choice, and it appears Serket is the decision here. We haven't exactly seen the Serket matchup in this particular group of players, but that being said, I'm really surprised to see that Zeus was not banned out by Risky Behavior just to not let Neilm get that pick. Now, Neilm probably, no, they're actually going to go for Jin Chan instead of Zeus, giving that over to Risky Behavior. I'm not sure how I feel about that. And if anything, that might be a mistake on the side of Neilm. Well, it looks like they're going to have to find a counter for Zeus and Janus, because Risky Behavior says, you know what, we would like both of those characters. Thank you very much. So I will go ahead and continue the Zeus hype train because it has been working out very well for Risky Behavior, and they have been doing a fairly good job on XenoTronics with that character. Now the question is, which one's going solo and which one's going mid, because that's still a very big question mark in this game. Neilm, of course, locking in Nox and Thor as their final picks for this first round of picks and bans. Come on. I'm just saying, I think they just picked up those two because they didn't want to give up Janus. We're not going back to season 1 with AD carry Zeus. That's not happening. Okay. Okay, well, while Lord WizKid is off in La La Land imagining a scenario where everything goes everywhere but he did, and it didn't work out that well, if I'm gonna be completely honest. That was not a smooth sailing game. That was very far from a smooth sailing game. But Neilm now tasked with the last pick for their team, and they're gonna round it off with an Ares. So Zinchan going over into the solo lane. So right now, it looks like Risky Behavior is pretty much set themselves up for a high kill potential, just team fight. So they have the Khepri to, let XenoTronics or even CrazyToaster survive just that little bit longer. I don't think that they're going to put much priority on survivability of Skeeledon. They're probably just going to let him die, if anything, just so that they can secure their consistent damage through Unstable Vortex, as well as chain lightning and detonate. So those things are way more useful than just an overhead smash from Humbots. After Humbots drops the ultimate, all right, we're done here. And then they also got Ho Yi with the on FaymousHate. He's going to be raining a lot of damage as well. So Risky Behavior has such a high burst damage team composition. It's very scary to imagine just that team fight in general.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very difficult thing for the... just in general, for both of these team fights, it's going to be pretty hectic. Neilm has some great ways of engaging into the team fight, but Risky Behavior, great ways of saving people out and then counter-initiating with that Humbat's ultimate, while Xing, Ares, Nox have so much ridiculous ways of going in, doing a lot of damage and getting back out again pretty safely. It's going to be quite an interesting team fight way of team fighting, but it's also going to be really interesting in the laning phase as well, because Nox and Zeus are these two characters who have to sit around their wave a little bit and try and clear it up. It takes a little bit longer than normal, so these two, if they're not careful, could easily be ganked during those points, so we're going to have to see. Also, one thing you guys didn't hear, because I unfortunately had my microphone muted, is that I was talking about there was a potential for the Hui to go into the solo lane. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. It is going to be Janus solo, Hui in the ADC role, and Zeus in the mid role.
Was your mic muted that whole time?
Yes, it was.
Oh, so I was just having a one-way conversation. That
yes,
was nice.
Yes, you were. So... It was apparently chat quite liked it, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and wait a little bit as we get settled into this game. This is game 2. Again, Neilm versus Risky Behavior. Finals of the NA Challenger Cup Series. And we'll be back in just a moment. You guys stay tuned. And welcome into the game as we get started up. Both teams loading in. We're going to go ahead and go through the rosters. Go ahead and take the blue side.
Well, over on the blue side, we're going to see PandaCat in the ADC role. Then NeiruMah is going to be playing Ares in the support. Grishank is going to be playing the jungle Thor. JiminyGlick is going to be playing Nox in the mid lane. And finally, Covi is going to be playing Xing in the solo lane.
And over on the red side of the map, you have Risky Behavior, XenoTronics again in the Zeus role. Choo-choo! FaymousHate over in the dual lane as Ho Yi, Skeeledon in the jungle as Humbots, Wubbn in the support role as Khepri, and finally CrazyToaster in the solo lane as the Janus. Now, a brief pause comes out as they wait for their FaymousHate AD carry to come in, but that being put aside, really interested to see how this Janus is played in the solo lane, because I have seen small instances where people elect to use Janus in the solo lane in somewhat of a tankier fashion, just kind of utilizing his portals and his threshold a little bit more so than they utilize his unstable vortex damage.
Yeah, I mean, usually what you see is this very support styled Janus where not only are they taking a lot of damage, they're also trying to get a lot of mobility off with their ultimates. They're trying to use a lot of they're trying to waste a lot of abilities effectively by getting the threshold to get the speed buff, and the speed decreases so they are forced to run away from him. There's also the portal to be able to get a nice sort of balance effect similar to Freya's. And more importantly, he can protect himself and he can put a lot of damage into himself, and then he just gets out pretty easily with his ultimate, or he can get the rest of his team in with his ultimate as well. So we'll probably see a very fast cooldown based kit, but most likely instead of going for the normal Chronos pendant, we'll actually see him going into the breastplate of Valor instead.
Going to be interesting to see if he does that, as he is up against Xing, who, for all you newer players, Xing is a magical damage dealing character and considered a guardian class character. So it would be a little weird to have a physical defense item first against a Xing who does magical defense, but it does make sense in the aspect of getting that high CDR as well as protecting yourself against the jungler and getting that extra mana. So it has its benefits even against a character like Xing. Now, that being said, I do actually like Neilm's team a little bit more than I like Risky Behavior. As much as I praise and hype up the Zeus train, I still think that Neilm do have a very aggressive team composition that can, again, as we usually see Neilm do, excel in the middle game, especially with that Ares and Xing combining their efforts with the Thor and, not Wheelix, but Nox.
Well, you can see, actually, Neilm were looking for a very aggressive start. 5-man rotating to this right-hand side to see if they could catch out either the home Batz or the Janus. Unfortunately, they come into just the right side of the Janus, who then immediately calls out, "Oh god, no, there's a 5-man rotation here. Don't come back here. Don't come back here, Skeeledon. Recall instead, you'll be safe." So unfortunately for Neilm, this 5-man rotation did not pay out for them. They weren't able to get the benefit off of it, but they are at least going to be able to not die either. So at least that's going to be a win for them. One thing that is interesting to note, we do actually see the Janus also going for the purple box start instead of... so going for this damage potion, which unfortunately I can't hover over on because I don't have it up, but that gives them an extra 50 magical power. Meanwhile, on the side of the junglers, so that's Grishank and Skeeledon, they have this red pot, which is giving them 20 physical power.
Yeah, and I really do like the decision to get the purple pot onto Janus, just because what that means is that he's going to be able to clear a lot earlier than what he would have without that pot, which is going to be very important in dealing with Jin Chan, because Jin Chan can actually put a lot of harass out onto Janus. It's actually going to be really difficult for CrazyToaster to survive in a lot of these instances if he gets aggressed on by Jin Chan, but given the purple pot, he can do it. And he's going to be able to at least clear very effectively much earlier than expected. Now, XenoTronics as well as HummBots are going to definitely secure this right side mid-Harpy. The question is, can they get the left side? And it's looking unlikely, as both Nox as well as Thor are already here and clearing it out.
Yeah, they decided not to contest it. It's a very good choice, actually. Just make sure they can clear the wave, as Nox actually doesn't have that very good early lane clear. She gets screwed over by a lot of different things, and you can see it already. She's only taken out 1 minion so far, and that's going to mean the XenoTronics and Skeeledon can do what they've been doing every game, and going this super aggressive early back camp steal.
Yeah, meanwhile over in the dual lane, speaking of aggressive, it looks like Ares is being pushed back into his own tower. Wubbn doing a very good job with Khepri to just kind of put the pressure on NeiruMah, who wants to use the chains, wants to use the flames, but the minute he does, he ends up getting yoinked up by Khepri and has to tank the entire creep wave, and that's not very good for him.
But in the mid lane, sorry we did not catch that one, but Grishank actually finds XenoTronics. I imagine that was a very nice combination of the root and cripple from JiminyGlick, followed by the immense damage coming out from the Mjolnir's Tumult and Berserker's Barrage combo. So he's effectively just didn't have a chance, and that's going to really hurt him.
Yeah, now it's kind of an awkward situation where, alright, well, we just gave Thor another kill, and Thor might actually be able to find more off of it as NeiruMah playing aggressively. They should smell out some kind of gank coming, but they didn't sense it soon enough, and NeiruMah was actually killed off, so FaymousHate able to at least find something out of what looked like nothing and be able to get out. So support for support. I think I would definitely be happy if I was on the side of Neilm, because that kill went onto Nox, which gives a little bit more of a win potential for them because of how dangerous Nox can be if fed.
Yep, that's going to make it a little bit better. You can see Skeeledon actually taking insane amounts of damage here. JiminyGlick finally going to be finished off by XenoTronics, but Grishank's very close of getting Skeeledon. Actually not going to be able to take him with the Janus portal over. That's going to keep him alive, and that's going to give an extra kill to Risky Behavior. That's big news.
Yeah, the fact that they weren't able to get that kill on the HummBots, as well as the fact that they were able to get 2 kills, is very important there. But XenoTronics in a little bit of trouble here as Covi aggressing very heavily onto XenoTronics. I don't imagine he's going to survive. Oh, never mind, never mind.
Yep, the Khepri ultimate is going to save him for a little bit. Not going. Actually, no, he is going to get hit by the Furious Roar. Wubbn actually using the Khepri ball just to make sure that he's not going to take as much damage from it, so he can still live a little bit longer, and he is actually going to be able to get back. Luckily, isn't going to be able to die to the rest of that, but he does lose a little bit of this farm in the middle lane.
So far it's just been back and forth, and now we're going to see a back and forth onto CrazyToaster, who uses the portal, avoids the Thor dunk as well as the stun quite skillfully, I might add, and portal not available just yet. He's dodging around as long as possible, uses it, and is barely able to get through it after being body blocked away from it. Skeeledon is able to find the kill on this Grishank with an overhead smash, and man, oh man, Risky Behavior is just showing prowess at every turn.
Grishank is going to be so upset at that. That was so close, but the body blocking nearly finished off CrazyToaster. However, then Wubbn came in with a really nice pull, which gave CrazyToaster just enough distance to be able to actually turn around and actually pick this up. We're going to see the Nox ultimate used after CrazyToaster is also going to use his ultimate to get back over here. Nox needs to be a little bit careful though, going to be using the dash away. Grishank is sitting here in on top of this, but again, they just can't really do too much. And actually, it looks like Skeeledon's going to try and go in on this. The ultimate's going to come out. JiminyGlick's taking a lot of damage. The silence is going to come out, but it's not going to be enough. The three-stun detonate's not going to be enough, but the Ares ultimate coming in.
Yeah, Ares' ultimate was great, but unfortunately there was just no one there to follow up, and so it was all for naught. As now, actually, Thor, thinking that there was maybe a potential to do something with that, came back in, died, and gave Risky Behavior yet again another kill, as well as the red buff after the fact. So, again, Risky Behavior just dominating the game so far, and they should be able to get both of these mid-harpies as well.
Yep, they're going to be able to get these mid-harpies. They're also going to be able to get a little bit more farm in the mid lane. Actually deciding that they're going to not go for both, just take one, make sure they're not going to die for any stupid reason. In fact, there was only one on the left-hand side anyway, so it wasn't going to really be that great trying to split that up. So luckily they at least, for Neilm, they get something. But it's not going to be that much. I mean, look at this gold difference right now. It's very much in favor of the side of Risk Behavior, along with the XP as well, sitting at 4k in the lead. However, I mean, the ADCs are pretty similar. It's only a level difference between those guys. However, these two junglers, very big difference of 3 levels, and this poor Grishank just has not been able to find any way of going on it. But he wants to go on this onto FaymousHate right now, and NeiruMah going to blink in.
Here it comes. That's going to be a lot of aggression going on to Hou Yi, who's forced to use the jump and beads, and he is under tower taking a lot of damage. But now the response comes out. Khepri comes in, pulls the Ares, or no, he actually pulls the Thor, and that's actually going to be quite a few kills available to Risky Behavior if they can land their skill shots. There's one of them. Skeeledon is going to be the one to secure that one. Zeus ultimate is down, so they can't use that. However, Humbot's ultimate is still primed and ready to go, and they blow up NeiruMah as PandaCat is next to fall. Gold Fury should be an easy objective for the guys of Risky Behavior, as Nox doesn't really have a lot of easy ways to get into this fight.
However, there is a very big Xing sitting around. They think that he's there, gonna get a big ultimate, but it's not gonna be enough. Only Wubbn being pulled in. He's gonna be able to go into his own ultimate, and now Covi sitting in the middle of this fight. He's not gonna be able to do anything. Wubbn may die to the... No, that was close. He very nearly died to the Gold Fury unleashing onto him, but there is still a Nox here who's trying to do what damage he can to Skeeledon. Grishank... Okay, poor Grishank is going to be immediately ripped off, and now JiminyGlick is running away as well. Not going to be fast enough though. Now NeiruMah is going to come in. Wubbn is still here. He's trying to do what he can. He's going to get a pull. No, he's not. Skeeledon's going to finish him off. PandaCat's back, but is he going to be able to find anyone? I don't think he can.
Just sloppy oh my goodness, they're still going, come on. It's just sloppy fighting, but at the same time, not sloppy. I mean, all the guys on the side of Risky Behavior are playing to their name, playing risky, and getting rewarded for it in a sense. XenoTronics already on a killing spree, and Thor using the ultimate just to try and pick up the kill onto XenoTronics. And he should be able to get something here. Berserker Barrage used, and it looks like XenoTronics might actually escape. Nope, Thor wall slap, that's going to be a kill there. And they were also able to pick up the Khepri kill, but at the end of the day, Zeus getting all these kills, Janus getting all these kills, Humbot's getting all these kills, that starts to add up.
Yep, and now more importantly, Neilm are going to start up the Gold Fury again, but this is not good because there are going to be a lot of people here. Grishank going to be finished off in the background. FaymousHate taking quite a bit of damage though. He's got the Nox ulti on him. He wants to go over the wall, but he doesn't. He can't. He has the cripple from NeiruMah, but now Skeeledon's here. He wanting to get into the middle of this fight as well. Gold Fury is still not being finished off yet. The Batz ultimate comes through. JiminyGlick is going to be finished off, and now Covi's going to channel his ult Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, but it's not going to be too much of Rage, more of Steel, as Xing going to be finished off in the background by Skeeledon.
And now Purple Buff being taken away by the members of Risky Behavior, who may finally actually be able to get the Gold Fury. It's been a struggle to go back and forth trying to get this objective, and now I think that we're finally going to see the first Gold Fury of the game go the way of Risky Behavior.
Okay, good. For a moment, I thought Grishank may try and do it because he was sitting in mid lane. He doesn't have his ultimate though, unfortunately. And that's just going to make sure that he's not going to be able to get this. So risky behavior, after a big fight, have finally taken out the Gold Fury. It took so long to kill that bird that I don't think it was worth it by this point.
I mean, it was worth it in a sense because risky behavior has gotten so many kills due to just Neilm trying to defend it. So that paid itself off in its own way, but I do agree with you to an extent that it's also kind of silly to be stuck there for that long. Now, XenoTronics dodging a lot of abilities right now over in the middle lanes. There is 5 people effectively there, and Thor going to come down to make it a actual 5. XenoTronics is under a lot of pressure, and he's going to be taken out by Covi. Not enough damage to really dissuade that dive. And, oh, no escape coming out from Ares.
Yeah, no escape coming out, forcing Wubbn's ultimate, but Covi is the person left alone right now. He does have his 3, he will get away, but the dive bomb from FaymousHate is going to be enough to do that. However, FaymousHate is going to get stuck in the silence. He's taking so much damage, but Skeeledon's going to use his ultimate and finish off Xing before he can. But now Skeeledon and Ullr finished off himself. PandaCat gets hit by the Janus ulti, but I don't really think CrazyToaster can really engage as Wubbn is on such a low amount of HP, and there's no one really that low enough on the side of Neilm to be able to actually take down.
So it's just nothing but back and forth kills on both of these teams. I mean, you see one kill, or you see one team get a couple of kills, and then all of a sudden it gets returned right back onto them when they make a slightly over-aggressive play. And I think that's been really the story of the game, is both of these teams have just been so aggressive in their mentality and in their fighting. It's hard to argue that this is going to go one way or the other just yet. Risky Behavior do have the advantage via team comp and gold right now and experience, but I think that if Risky Behavior is going to play this aggressively, they could easily make a mistake at some point in the game.
Yeah, they've got to be quite careful about it. I mean, Neilm does still have a very good team fight. They've got to be quite careful about this sort of stuff. CrazyToaster taking quite a bit of damage in the solo lane, actually. Going to get the ultimate from Xing on him. He's taking so much damage, but the Khepri's here as well. Going to pull him away. In fact, CrazyToaster is going to just get a cheeky little hit, but there's going to be a Nox ulti finishing him off. XenoTronics as well, taking a little bit of damage. This Fire Giant knocks up JiminyGlick and Grishank, and actually he's going to get a double kill off of that.
Oh,
Fire Giant OP!
Yeah, Covi is gonna be surrounded by 3 members of Risky Behavior. Tries to escape, but Ricochet gonna stun him out. He's gonna be finished off as well. So Risky Behavior getting a 3-for-1 trade-off and not losing that Zeus. Still, he's reaching upwards of, what are we now at? 9 and 2? No, that's the Humbots. 5 and 3.
Yeah, the Batz is probably by far the biggest one, as PandaCat gets finished off again. He's actually is going to be able to jump away, but it's not going to be enough as the TP from Skeeledon comes out. And now there's 3 members of Neilm running down the mid lane, but the tier 1 tower is going to fall. That's the first tower in the game going to the side of Risky Behavior.
And so mid Harpies are going to be completed on both sides, both by Risky Behavior. Another gold win for them, and I don't really see any signs of Neilm winning anything here soon. A lot of ultimates available on the side of Risky Behavior, but they still want to go for it. And NeiruMah actually finding the kill on the Wubbn, so getting the support, not a bad trade-off. CrazyToaster, going to take a little bit of poke from the Nox, and that should really be the end of that.
I mean, Covi had amazing positioning in that last fight. He could have got a huge ultimate off if he had it, but sadly he used his ultimate to try and kill the Janus. CrazyToaster actually taking a lot of damage as well. Grishank going to be able to get that kill, but Grishank is standing in the middle of that. That's not what you want to do. And now JiminyGlick is going to be chased down by Skeeledon. Is going to go into the silence, going to get hit by it, but the question is what's going to happen afterwards.
I think that was a bit of a misplay by Zeus. He should have let Thor go up into the air to absorb that cooldown, but now it doesn't really matter. Zeus is going to be blown up by PandaCat as well as JiminyGlick. But are they going to go for anything else is the question. Neilm been in an awkward stage most of this game, not really knowing how to approach a couple of these fights, and they get these wins but don't really get anything else afterwards.
Yeah, Covi wants to try and go in, going to use the ultimate whirlwind and Rage Seal onto Wubbn. He does have his escape though if he needs it. He is going to use it, it's going to go on there, but the pull's going to come through just in time, and that's going to go on to FaymousHate. Wubbn is still alive though. There's going to be a heavily agility used. NeiruMah is going to be the one to fall down.
Now over on the other side, Batz is boxing it out with PandaCat, taking a lot of damage, and the Fear No Evil comes out as well. So PandaCat should be dead here. He is going to be finished off. No man on the JiminyGlick. He shouldn't be able to do anything else. And who's going to get it? That's going to go over to Skeeledon. Now Grishank in an awkward spot, as well as Zeus going to finish him off. So 4 for none exchange in favor of risky behavior, as just unfortunately Neilm got caught with their pants down.
Wubbn got out on the backside. That was the biggest thing. I did not expect that. I thought it was going to be a 4-for-1, but Wubbn was able to escape with a very nice portal from CrazyToaster. And that's going to mean that Risk Behavior are going to be able to take down that tier 2 tower. They're going to look for gold jewelry again, and they're going to extend this gold difference even further from a 5,888 5,800 to somewhere along the lines of about 7,000. But Neilm want to try and stop this.
Yeah, they need to stop it. I mean, at this point, you're falling way too far behind against some of these hyper-damaging characters. Zeus only going to get worse. Janus only going to get worse. Batz really is going to get worse because he still does have the passive crits, and that makes it easier for, say, a Deathbringer pickup to just do so much more damage. So, imagine that Skeeledon and friends are just basically going to start to try and snowball this game in a nice, slow fashion. A little bit of a standoff between Wubbn and Covi is they kind of just chill out, and Covi actually doing a couple backflips while he waits for the wave.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things, when I originally saw Risk Behavior's lineup, and I think you thought this as well, Neilm is going to win in the team fights, but there have been very many good team fights right now. Actually, Grishank going to come in onto Wubbn right there. Grishank is going to fall down immediately to XenoTronics, though. He's taking so much damage. Covi trying to 1v1 Skeeledon, but it's not going to work out as he's taking so much damage as well. And now NeiruMah is left alone in the backside, going to be finished off pretty fast, leaving the rest of his team to just back off and try and farm. PandaCat has no mana, so this is only going to be JiminyGlick here. They're going to try and look for the Fire Giant, and Jiminy does not have his ultimate.
Yeah, they actually elect to just steal away some enemy camps and turn their attention over to JiminyGlick, who was looking for the kill on the Zeus, who has the Khepri ultimate onto him, so he should be able to survive. And unfortunately for JiminyGlick, he's running into more threats, and one of which has a slow and an auto attack.
Poor Covi just sitting here, just talking to FaymousHate because he knew that he wasn't going to be able to get the kill. CrazyToaster actually going to be very close to death there, just going to be able to get out, and now Wubbn sitting here as well. They're going to de-ward the Fire Giant, but that's all that they can do really. There's no one they can go on. FaymousHate going to get stunned out, but not going to find anything either, and Skeeledon just jumping away from PandaCat after trying to get the stun onto him as well.
Over in the right side of the map, the first tier tower is going to be sieged up, but Batz comes in with the Fear No Evil, going to go all in on the PandaCat, who uses the jump to get out, and I don't believe that there's going to be any more chase potential on him. However, there is quite a few members of Neilm that just aren't going to be able to escape, one of which being Ares, the other possibly being Covi, but no, he's going to blink away from the enemy team. Risky Behavior not going to be able to catch him, and now Fire Giant could be an argument, but no, they're actually going to go under tower and try to find a kill and end up losing their CrazyToaster.
Yep, but now JiminyGlick's going to fall to XenoTronics. Covi is taking a lot of damage, but unfortunately he's pretty tanky, so it's not going to be enough. Skeeledon finally finishing up. PandaCat looking to 1v1 Skeeledon, but he's not going to be able to be there as XenoTronics is sitting right behind him. So another tier 2 tower going to Risky Behavior. And this seems to be what is happening. Neilm's going, hey, we can't do much, let's look for the picks. And then the picks just aren't happening. And instead, Risky Behavior are getting the picks, and they're finding these towers afterwards as well. They found the tier 2 tower in the mid lane. They found the tier 1 and 2 on the right side as well. They're going to look for the left lane, because guess what? Those are the only 2 towers left standing, and they are so far ahead in gold now that this is very difficult for Neilm to come back in. They're 10,000 gold in the lead, and 18,000 experience in the lead. Just to prove this point, they are still not level 20 yet, so this is just general XP league.
Yeah, I mean, even worse, so you look at the average level on the side of Neilm versus Risky Behavior, the average level on Neilm is like 13, if not a little bit lower, maybe getting closer to 12, and Risky Behavior average level is around 15, getting closer to like 16. So it's kind of
sorry about this in the mid lane. Right now we're going to see XenoTronics and Skeeledon taking a lot of damage. XenoTronics is the one going to go down. Skeeledon going to get out of the ultimate into the silence. Not going to be enough though. Thor actually going to go into his ultimate, wants to hit Skeeledon, not going to be able to, but the chain's going to come out. Skeeledon taking so much damage, he's not going to live through this, and that's going to be a big win for the side of Neilm. Wubbn going to be under the tower though, trying to deal with Covi. Covi actually going to go down, he's taking way too much damage, and Wubbn may actually get another kill here. FaymousHate on the left hand side though, finishing off PandaCat.
He just got stuck between minions in a hard place and wasn't able to actually get out. So Grishank getting that kill, very important. But at the same time, split push happening over in the left side of the map for the members of Risky Behavior. They realized that they took away a lot of their damage, and oh, that is a NeiruMah who is definitely going to at least stop one of the members of CrazyToaster from getting away. And there it is. That's going to be CrazyToaster walking away from that situation. Tier 2 tower in the mid lane, however, is going to fall. Zeus coming over to try and maybe pick up a kill on the way.
Yeah, unfortunately he's not going to be able to. However, he has started stacking this Warlock Sash now. So he's going to be able to get a lot more tankier, of which you've been seeing that Neilm's been doing this good job of trying to go on top of him. So once he gets this Warlock Sash higher stacked, he's going to start being very tanky, and there's not really that much that Neilm can do about it. We're actually going to see a Janus ulted towards the left hand side. The question is, are they going to be able to find JiminyGlick? No, he's recalled by that time. Grishank has a little bit of mana left, so he can use the teleport out, which he's going to do. But then the rest of Risky Behavior are here. Grishank going to go down to Wubbn here, and now Covi's on his own, going to be forced to use the jump away. Not going to go into the portal though. He actually tried. He tried going into the portal, but missed it.
Yeah, and now I feel a little bit more comfortable possibly going for the Fire Giant, but instead it's going to be the team fight call here, as there is a lot of opportunity with the AoEs, and there it is. That's going to be NeiruMah automatically taken out of the fight. Now they looked at JiminyGlick as well as Covi. JiminyGlick, unfortunately, not going to be able to survive, as Zeus damage just too strong, and I think that this is going to be a pretty easy Fire Giant.
Yeah, pretty easy Fire Giant indeed. PandaCat is the only person left alive, and even though he does have his ultimate, it's not going to be that helpful. CrazyToaster is going to meet him halfway though. CrazyToaster is very nearly dead though. He can't finish him off. Now Grishank's going to be teleporting into the wards. I'm surprised he even has that, and he's going to land onto the middle of the Fire Giant, but he's not going to be able to seal it away just yet. Looking for Skeeledon, is not going to be able to find him. Risky Behavior take the gold tree and also kill Skeeledon. PandaCat finishes on off though. That's very unfortunate for Grishank. Very unfortunate.
Yeah. And even more unfortunate for Neilm as a whole, because Risky Behavior is now sitting on a 3-man Fire Giant, and all the people that it needs to be on, it's on. CrazyToaster has it, as well as XenoTronics and FaymousHate. The only people who don't are Wubbn and Skeeledon. And we mentioned earlier, if Humbots just drops his ultimate, he's already hit maximum effectiveness. He has made full use out of his character. Anything he does after that, probably just icing on top of the cake. But in regards to who needs it the most out of the team comp of Risky Behavior, definitely going to be Zeus, Janus, and Hoi, and they're going to be able to make a lot of use out of that.
Now, one thing we haven't talked about on the side of Neilm, and this is a really bad spot for them, they have 3 teleports. Anyway, meanwhile, NeiruMah is actually just going to get blown up. He does get the pull, but it's not going to be fast enough for him to fall down. And now there's PandaCat on his own, needs to jump away, not going to be able to do it in time. When he jumps, it's not going to be in the right place. And now Grishank's on his own on the left-hand side. He just wants to teleport to somewhere. Surrender Vote comes out. If Neilm wants to do this, they can very much do this. This is a best of 5 series, so they can still let one more game go, but Grishank has got to be quite careful where he is. Covi's got to be even more careful, because FaymousHate is starting to rip through his health.
Yeah, and actually I'm really surprised to see that XenoTronics used the beast there. There's no one really there to actually punish the ultimate use, but he is going to be the one to secure the kill, so that's a win in its own right. Meanwhile, Janus has just been holding the wave up front, and he's been clearing that out on his own, and I guess we're now entering somewhat of a base race. Thor pushing down middle, Nox pushing down right, and all the members of Risky Behavior are starting to look towards this left Phoenix.
We're actually going to see Ullr TPing in. I did call this that there was a TP on 3 characters, and that's Ullr, Thor, and Xing. Yeah, I know. I don't understand either, but NeiruMah is going to be pulled out in the backline. He's going to take so much damage that this Phoenix is going to go down before Risky Behavior even have a chance to get it to do any damage. Grishank may even be falling down to Skeeledon here. Is finally going to go down. PandaCat's lazy backing. Luckily, though, he doesn't see it, so that's going to be fairly decent. And
Yeah,
now JiminyGlick also
gonna
recalling. In fact, the Titan's nearly dead! What?
Yeah, the Titan's gonna die. I mean, you've got a fire giant Zeus, you've got a fire giant Janus. I mean, all the people that needed the fire giant have the fire giant, and they have all the damage there to actually kill it off. What was really important was just Humbots making sure that no one could do anything too ridiculous over by the risky behavior side, Phoenix. So risky behavior takes this game way more decisively than I thought the first game went down. I think that this one was really one-sided. It's almost a little disappointing to see how bad that was, but again, the characters that made the hugest impact last game were kind of left untouched, and mainly speaking for Zeus. I mean, Zeus sitting at 26,000 damage in a 24-minute game, he really was the backbone of the team. He just kept getting all these kills. I mean, he's just been left attended to by Neilm. They could have picked it up last time. They instead elected to go give Covi the Xing, and it feels like that may have hurt them a little bit too much.
Yeah, they really need to take away this Zeus from XenoTronics. He has won every single game he's played on it. Without a doubt, you need to get rid of this. The Soul, yes, FaymousHate is pretty good on Soul, but XenoTronics is currently carrying these games. And Skeeledon is also helping out with insane amounts of assists, especially in the mid lane. The biggest problem with this game was that Neilm decided to try and teamfight early. The problem with that is the fact that Risky Behavior have much better early teamfight than them. Neilm have good teamfight, without a doubt, but it's just not the early teamfight. It's much more of a mid-game, late-game teamfight, whereas Risky Behavior were by far going to dominate anyone trying to kill them in the early game. And unfortunately for Grishank, he just got caught out time and time again, so he was effectively doing no damage. You can see sitting at 9,000 in that game, unfortunately.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get set up for what could actually end up being the last game of the NA Challenger Series Finals if Risky Behavior can pull together the same kind of performance that they've done these last two games, whereas Neilm is looking for a chance to try and 3-0 sweep their opponents to take away the grand prize. Hopefully we get to see a game 4 and potentially even more so a game 5, and I hope you guys will stay tuned to see exactly what's going to happen next. We'll be right back after